Chapter 31 No One POV Past Life 10. Diane looked at a dress that was hanging in front of her. It was dark red mixed with black. The bottom half was finished with a red shim making the dress beautiful at every angle. It was the traditional wedding dress of the demon world. She let out another sob, turning away. Today was her wedding to the devil. Today is the day her life's completely destroyed. She hissed in pain as she unintentionally squeezed her wounded hands. She let out a huff, turning to the mirror. Her hands were covered in whip marks and scars. Hell, her whole body is covered in them. The day they returned, she sent her to the dungeon. She was put on starvation for 2 days before taken to her room. After that, till today, she received whipping and power draining as punishment. Her body was in pain and ached. She felt weak and sleepy, but the pain is too much. A knock filled the room, after which the door opens to see the maids. It is time to get ready, Your Highness, the main maid said. She sighed and nodded. 2 of them went to prepare my bath, while the others prepared my dress and jewelry. Once she finished her bath, she was taken to the dressing room, where they did her makeup and did her hair. The makeup was dark and smoky, and she looked away. She looked like a dark demoness. She hated herself for this. She never liked dark clothes or dark makeup. She never liked it. It never fits her. But she's always forced to wear them. Once she wore a light red dress, she fell in love when she went shopping. It was her birthday. She wanted to try wearing something unique. But the devil humiliated her in front of the entire people. She was punished and sent to prison for a day because of that. She hated it so much. She had no freedom of anything. Since young, she was taken away from her parents and brought up in the title of Devil's Bride. She was trained to become a virtuous and proper wife of the devil, and she hated every single moment. The maids finished their job and gave her the black rose bouquet. She looked at the mirror, her eyes filling with tears. She is going to marry him, the person she hates the most. Another knock filled the room. Princess Diane is requested to come to the altar in half an hour. A manly voice came. Don't worry, the main maid said. She smiled sadly. She could only nod before walking out of the door to get married to the devil. Every step felt like her pain. Her mind suddenly went to the Silver Eye Prince. Her heart felt heavy of the thought. She has no idea what happened to him. She asked the devil many times, but he tells nothing. He only gets angry and punishes her more. But she couldn't help but ask again and again, as if he made her feel loved and not just wanted. He cared for her and made sure she was happy. She knew he was curious to know about her life, but he didn't pressurize when he saw her hesitant. She let out a sob and wiped her tear. Today, she will marry the devil, but she will never allow him to touch her. She will kill herself before it. Reaching the door to the wedding hall, she took a deep breath. The door guard bowed to me with respect before knocking twice on the door. The future queen of the Serene, Diane Logel. The man on the other side shouted before the door opened. Future queen, she said, disgust in her mind. She never wanted to be one. She walked into the hall with her head held high. She shouldn't show weakness. She saw the devil standing in the altar in his blood-red suit. She didn't look in his eyes, but looked at the wall behind. She despises him. Once she reached the altar, she saw her father approach. He had dark circles under his eyes, and he refuses to look at his daughter's face. How could he? He loved her ever since she was born, but couldn't save her from the devil's clutches. Her mother was crying silently, looking at her. Her two elder brothers were tensed as they stared at the altar. She took the extended hand of her father. She smiled sadly as he finally looked at her. He let out a sob as he hugged her tight. I'm sorry, he whispered in her ear as she nodded and hugged back tight. He then took her to the altar and made me stand in front of the devil. I give you my daughter, and I hope you will love her more than anything, my father said dryly as he took the devil's hand and placed her hand on top. Her father knew nothing good would come to his daughter once she gets married to the cruel god. But he can do nothing. The devil is too powerful. He can wipe down his family in seconds. Diane kept ignoring the devil's eyes. She looked down. She wanted to pray to the Lord to save her. But how can she? Her Lord is the devil, the one who is her creator. She felt pressure on her head, and she knew it was from the devil. Look at me. His voice boomed in her mind as her eyes widened in fear. Within seconds, she looked up and saw him glaring. Sorry, she whispered. She felt his father tense. Please proceed with the ceremony, King Victor, the devil said to her father as he nodded. Today, I'm here to give my daughter in hand to you. High King of the land of Syrian, I give you my permission to marry my daughter," he said, trying his best not to cry. "Thank you," the devil said as he smirked at Diane. "Diane," the devil said loudly as he squeezed her hand a little too tightly, making her flinch. "Do you accept me as your husband and the mother of my future children?" he said as he stared at her. "Do I have a choice?" she said in her mind desperately, wanting to say it out loud. But she couldn't. She knew he would never think twice before killing her entire family. "I do," she said, but all their attention went to the door where a scream rose. "What the hell?" the devil shouted as the door opened. "You will never marry her!"